All right, so it's going to be an unboxing on the Pixel 7 Pro and the Hazel color. So as you can see, this is the box, very simple. On the back, you just have information about your device, what you get inside of it. This is the 256GB model. It also has 5G millimeter and sub 6, and that's pretty much it as far as the box. I do appreciate that Google includes these pull tabs, makes it very easy. You don't have to use a knife at all, even though I'm about to screw it up. All right, we're good. Is it a nice easy lift? Ooh, yeah. Yeah, it's nice and easy. Nice and easy. Wow. I expected this to be a little bit more gold. Looks more silver, or I don't know how to describe it. It's like a mix between gold and silver. But it does look pretty clean though. On the front here, it tells you, where everything goes. USB-C, fingerprint, power button, volume rocker down here, and your SIM card slot is right over here. Inside the box, you also get your USB-A to USB-C adapter for easily being able to transfer stuff over, USB-C to USB-C, and then some paperwork. I don't know if you guys heard that, but it was somewhat satisfying. You know what? This feels very, very similar to my Pixel 6 Pro. Let's turn it on a while, and right here we have the Pixel 6 Pro. One of the things I really want to try is see if the case fits. I doubt it. So there you go. Comparison wise, they feel pretty much similar. Yeah, I can't really feel much of a difference. And bezel wise, you can tell about roughly the same. I don't think there's much of an improvement there. About the, oh yeah, so I don't know if you can see it here in video, but there is a bit of a difference in the edges. So the Pixel 6 Pro is definitely more pronounced. You can definitely see it a little bit more, and yeah, it feels about the same, but you can see it a little bit less now on the Pixel 6 or Pixel 7 Pro, excuse me. So that's pretty much it. Everything you get on the Pixel 7 Pro. Design-wise, compared to this, there are some differences. Obviously, now it's a frame around the whole device versus just glass. I personally wasn't a huge fan of this, just because I was a little bit afraid that I was going to scratch it up whenever it was just sitting down on a flat surface. Versus this, there's not much of a lift from the actual lenses, but I feel like that might protect it a little bit more. Oh, this one's more slippery actually. Like yeah, it might be the rails that protect it actually. But either way, I like the design a little bit more. Definitely some small refinements there. Ooh, actually, look at that. Difference in the band that they're using now. So that looks cleaner as well. Definitely looks a bit cleaner there. Wait. Oh, the button is so much better on the Pixel 7 Pro. But I complained about how the button was a little bit, clunky, it felt like just felt stiff on the Pixel 6 Pro. On here, on a 7 Pro, oh, these buttons feel a lot clickier. I like that. I like that. And real quick, I actually wanted to see if the case from the Pixel 6 Pro fits on the 7 Pro. I doubt it, but let's see. No way. It does. Okay. Okay. Well, actually, it's a little bit odd. So it fits, kind of. It fits the camera and stuff like that. At least it looks like it does. But the issue now is the power button and the volume rocker. When I'm trying to put it up, it doesn't feel right. Same with the power button. It doesn't feel entirely like it's meant to be like that. Ah, yes. Well, duh. Look at that. Look at how off it is. Wait, so did they change the placement? Hold on. I didn't notice that. They changed the placement of the buttons? Yeah. Yeah, they lowered it. Oh, wow. They lowered the buttons, which is actually nice. Oh, yeah. Much more reachable. Much more reachable. I'll still complain that the volume rocker is below the power button. I'm used to the volume rocker being on top of the power button for most other devices, but wow. So I guess your cases won't fit on here because they lowered the buttons. But at least it fits. It's just the button placement does not fit. So that's a bit unfortunate. But all right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and set this up, and I'll give you guys my first impression / review after a couple of days. Alright, so this is the Pixel 7 Pro, and I've been using it for the past couple of days now. This is going to be my first impression, so my first initial review after using it for a few days. Just give you my thoughts and experience so far with the phone. So starting off the design, I think this is a very gorgeous device, especially the color that I personally picked. I'm a big fan of this hazel color. I like the green. I also like how the aluminum frame that it has and the bar that it has here for the camera array, I can't tell if it's like gold or silver. I guess depending on how the light hits it, it may differ in the color. I just think it looks really nice. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the design. So in the hand, it feels, again, very similar to last year's as well, but there are some, I think, subtle differences too. So I feel like the sides are a little bit flatter now instead of a little bit more curved. Also, the antenna bands were changed up a little bit, and the volume rocker and the power button were lowered down a bit more now. So it's definitely much more friendlier in the hand, so you can definitely reach it much easier. The fingerprint sensor is also very nice, so the hardware difference here is that I think it's improved. I definitely feel like it's just a tad bit faster and a tad bit more responsive and easier to use. So fingerprint sensor has definitely been improved here. And the return of facial recognition is very nice. I really like it, especially because you can have your notifications locked, and until it recognizes you with your facial recognition, it can unlock those notifications. Similar to how iPhones work. I absolutely love that feature from iPhone. So now that I have it on an Android device, especially on this Pixel, I absolutely love it. And you still have USB-C at the bottom, and you have firing speakers. The speakers, I don't think, have changed much. I personally feel like they sound very good for the most part. I honestly am not a huge audiophile, so to me, most speakers sound pretty good, but they don't really stand up quite yet to the iPhone level speakers. iPhone level speakers are pretty good, but the Pixel 7 Pro speakers so far have been pretty decent. And as far as the display, you are going to be getting a 1440p 120Hz AMOLED display here. I think it's so far pretty good. So I already mentioned how the curves are a little bit less curved now, so you see it a little bit less when you're looking at it from the side. So that's a nice improvement to some people who don't like curves. Personally, I'm not a big fan, but also don't hate them. They're pretty nice sometimes. So I think they feel pretty nice when you're using them, when you're swiping them from the side to go back on some apps. I think it feels really nice. But for the most part, the quality of the display, it's still really good. So it's sharp, it's colorful, it's vivid. It just looks really good when you're browsing around, and especially when you're watching content. And the display also gets a lot brighter. I noticed it when I was using it outside. It definitely feels brighter than it was last year. As far as the performance, you're going to be getting the new 2nd generation Google Tensor chip and then 12 gigabytes of RAM. I personally got the 256 gigabyte model. I honestly think that 256 should start to be the new standard, just because 128 is starting to be kind of hit or miss for some people. I know my parents are suffering with 128 because they take a ton of photos and videos. I also start to suffer as well after some time. So I'm going to start with getting with 256 gigabytes model phones now. But performance though, it's been for the most part pretty good, snappy, and reliable. I think where I noticed the best performance improvement was when you're actually taking photos and videos. I noticed that last year with the Pixel 6 Pro, the actual viewfinder looked a little bit laggy and just noisy. Now it's a bit improved. It sometimes can look a little bit noisy, and I do notice a little bit of like refresh rate lag and stuff like that when you're actually in the middle of filming something. That's where I noticed the best improvement, because it doesn't do that as often, but otherwise, for the most part, it still performs really well. You can do all your basic stuff so far, and I haven't had any issues. I played 1 or 2 games every now and then. I haven't had much time, obviously, since I've only been using it for a couple of days, but for the most part, it's been holding up pretty well. The phone seems to overheat sometimes though, like not to the point where like overheats, but it gets warm after some time. It's odd. I don't know. Like earlier today, I was taking a bunch of photos and videos and it wasn't feeling too hot. But then the other day, I was just using it lightly, and then I was just testing out the camera, taking 1 or 2 photos, and it felt kind of warm. So sometimes it seems to warm up a bit, but it's not super over exaggerated or anything as bad as I remember the Pixel 6 Pro being when I first got it. So I definitely think maybe it improved a little bit there, but I'm still sensing or feeling that it gets a little bit warm after some time, but not as often as it did last year. And so far off the software N13, it's very minimalistic still. Not much has changed from the Pixel 6 Pro. I think there's just small, subtle tweaks that they have. So the only thing I noticed was with the camera, the dial changed up a little bit now. Personally, not a huge fan of it. Wasn't a fan of it last year still either, just because it's not easy to quickly get to your already predefined 0.5x, 1x, 2x, and 5x. So if like you start to use the dial, you have to wait for it to like reset itself essentially and go back to normal. So you can't easily quickly switch between the different focal lengths. I'm not sure what it's called, but yeah, the dial is a little bit different. That's the only really major thing I noticed as far as the software. For the most part, it still runs all pretty much the same, and I already mentioned how it's very smooth and pretty minimalistic for the most part. But so far, software hasn't been anything crazy different from my previous experience. Now, talking about the cameras, I don't really know what they changed hardware-wise, but when I started using them in real-world usage, I did notice some differences, obviously. So obviously there was a couple hardware changes, but the ultra wide was the first thing I noticed that changed. So now it's a 0.5x then a 0.7x compared to last year. So now you get a bigger field of view, and you can also get closer to subjects, so you can get like a macro mode shot. So I really like that and appreciate that. The main lens I don't think has changed much, but overall I think it looks really good in my opinion. Even in low light situations, it takes really good photos. And now you can use, I mean, you could use a 2x before, so you have a 2x still that you can crop in on, I believe, the 50 megapixel camera. But either way, main lens photos look really good overall. And then the telephoto, it's now a 5x that I noticed compared to the 4x of last year. And again, it looks really good. I think it looks like a good photo. I did notice that it changes up a little bit in the color compared to the main and ultra wide lens, but for the most part, the telephoto looks really good. And you can also now zoom in to a max of 30x. Video also looks really good. Again, ultra wide, you can now get a 0.5x field of view, so you get a wider field of view. And also you can get closer up to a subject in video. So again, get that macro video-like shot. Main lens also looks really good in video. I like how vibrant it looks. It doesn't look as natural as like what I'm seeing in reality, but it makes the video look good. It's up to you to decide if you like a vibrant looking video or a vibrant looking shot, because the shots look like that too. But it's up to you to decide how you feel about the way it looks. But you gotta admit, it looks really nice, especially in low light as well. I think the main lens just rocks it in low light video. The telephoto also looks pretty decent. Again, it might look a little bit inconsistent in the color switching from the main to the telephoto, but for the most part, it looks pretty good in 5x. And one thing I forgot to mention when I was taking photos, but I noticed it more when using video, was that sometimes depending on how far away you are from a subject, if you switch to the 5x, the phone will decide or determine whether or not the focal distance is far enough that it can actually focus on whatever you're videoing, that it'll use either the main lens or it could potentially switch to the telephoto. So like I mentioned how I had focus issues with the telephoto, this might be what it's doing. It might be just trying to determine, should you use the telephoto or should you use the main lens and just crop in a bit more. So yeah, that might be what's going on, but for the most part still, it looks really good. And you can only still cap out to a 20x max zoom, but it still looks really good in my opinion. I think out of most phones that can zoom in pretty far away, 20x looks really good on the Pixel 7 Pro in my opinion. The front camera also looks pretty good for the most part. I just think it takes pretty good selfies. I think it stays pretty true to life with my skin color, depending on the lighting conditions. Sometimes if you're in a shadow or the sun's blasting at you, it may look a little bit different. But for the most part, I think it takes really good photos. Same thing with video. It might depend on the lighting. It might depend on what you think of the color that the Pixel's shooting, because I think it is a little bit vibrant, but for the most part, my skin color looks pretty accurate. I just think it looks really good overall. So yeah, that's pretty much it on cameras. I think the cameras have been great and look pretty good so far, except for those little autofocus. I don't know if there's issues or just, the phone just trying to figure out which one it should use, but for the most part, I think I'm pretty impressed with the camera. As far as battery life, you are still getting a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. And of course, I've only been using it for a couple of days, so I can't really say much about the battery yet. But for the most part, it's pretty similar to last year from what I'm experiencing. So last year I was able to get through pretty much a whole day as long as I wasn't using it heavily. But same thing with this phone. I was using it pretty heavily the one day, woke up at 6:30. I was working, but in the afternoon, I was still using it pretty heavily. So by the end of the night, I got to about 8 p.m. where my phone was down to like 10-15%. So I had to charge. So it was able to get me through a whole day. Just at night, I had to charge up. So if you're a light user, it looks like you should be able to get pretty much the whole day with no problem. But if you're a heavy user, you might have to charge up in the afternoon or late evening. So honestly, for the most part, so far after a couple of days, it feels very similar to last year's. As far as the charging speeds, you still take a long time to charge. I think about an hour and like 45 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes, depending on how you start charging. But it is pretty fast from 0 to 50%, but after that, it takes a long time. But you still have wireless charging as well and reverse wireless charging. And I still had the issue where I was using adaptive charging. Again, this was only after one night, but I was using adaptive charging and I put it on my wireless charger, in this case, the Samsung Trio, and it didn't fully charge in the morning. So it's supposed to trickle charge overnight, but it wasn't able to do that. But that might be because I'm not using a Pixel stand or a plugged-in charger or something like that. But either way, I still wanted to note it here. But besides that, the Pixel 7 Pro, I'm pretty impressed so far. I like it. The small refinements that they added, it really adds up. It's very similar to the Z Fold 4 experience, where the small refinements that they added to the Z Fold 3 to the Z Fold 4, they add up and really make the phone feel a bit more complete, in my opinion. So far, I'm really liking it, and I feel like if you have a Pixel 6 Pro, you really should maybe consider the upgrade, because so far, I'm really liking it. So that's been it. Leave me your questions, your thoughts, your comments, what you think about the Pixel 7 Pro. But yeah, that's been it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.